Hello guys, Lint here, and welcome to the third tutorial in the AMV tutorial series. Today we're going to be doing a quick slide transition as requested by one of my viewers. And as always, if you have any questions, if you get confused at any point, leave a question down in the comments. I will respond and I'm here to help. And without further ado, let's get started. So once again, I'm here with two clips. And before you do anything, make sure you enable motion blur here on the left. And after that, what we're going to do is we're going to create a nice little zoom out for the first part of the slide. So create a null object, link it to the first clip, and we're going to use a really large scale value at the start for the first keyframe, since we're doing a zoom out. But these values are arbitrary. You don't have to follow them exactly. You can use what you think looks good. Create a keyframe by clicking on the stopwatch, go to a couple frames before the end, and make the scale 100 again. Highlight them, press F9 to easy ease, and use this graph. So it should be looking something like this. Alright, so now for the actual sliding part, we're going to need a second null above the first one on the first clip, cut it down, and link the first null to the second one. Now at around halfway, we're going to create a Y value keyframe, so separate the dimensions, because we only want to keyframe the Y value. There's no point making our graphs all complicated by keyframing both the X and Y position. Make a keyframe, go to the end, and drag it so that the clip is about halfway off the screen. So around about here. And make sure this keyframe is at the end. Highlight them, easy ease, and use this graph. For the slide, we're going to use a less harsh curve because we want it to be actually noticeable and not just super fast. So now if we take a look. Alright, now for the second clip. Make a null, cut it down, link the clip, and separate the dimensions once again. And because this clip is sliding up, well, we also want this clip to slide up so that the transition is seamless. So let's bring it down until it's about halfway off the screen. Keyframe it, go to about halfway along the clip, and change the Y value to what it once was. So that would be 540. And now let's graph it. And let's take a look. Alright, that's looking pretty nice, but we really want to eliminate these black borders, so we're going to add the motion tile effect. Increase the output width and output height until you can no longer see the borders, so I'm just going to use 333. Enable mirror edges, by the way, and then copy this effect that's finished onto the second clip. And now let's take a look. So the transition is pretty much done, but there are some extra things we can add to make it look better. So let's create an adjustment layer above both clips and go to maybe 6 to 7 frames on either side of the transition. So here, when the two clips meet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, that's 6, I think. I can't count, but anyways, cut it. And once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cut it. And let's apply some directional blur. So let's set the angle to either 0 or 180 because we want the blur to be aligned vertically since this is an up-down slide. At the start of the adjustment layer, we're going to set the blur to 0 and keyframe it. So we got a keyframe for 0 here. And at the point of the transition where the two clips meet, we're going to set it to 100. And this will essentially serve as extra motion blur to make the slide look even more smooth. And at the end, we'll set it back to 0. Now if we take a look, so this last part is optional, but as you can see, I've made a second adjustment layer below the first one with some warp on it, and at the start I've made a bend keyframe for 0, and at the point of the transition where the two clips meet, I've set it to 20, and I've graphed it like this. So if you want to recreate it, this is how you make it, and here's what it looks like.